everybody! Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris.
I'm Russ.
And this is episode 200.
Holy shit, episode 200. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again back into our virtual nerd basements for the 200th episode of Nerds with Alcohol. Yeah. Chris, can you believe that we made it?
Some days, no.
Me too. I'm really shocked and surprised.
You're way
I know. I'm getting comfortable.
No, I am really has nothing to do with it. Stay in frame.
I'm really shocked and surprised, honestly.
Hold on, they got no volume for you.
Oh.
Why not?
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. Now we have volume for you, I think.
Okay, now let's repeat what I was just saying. Holy shit. Welcome back into the nerd basement, guys. Our virtual nerd basements for our 200th episode. You know, Chris, I can't believe we made it. I'm so glad.
It's not a true Nerds with Alcohol episode without some sort of technical difficulty.
Exactly. Whether my phone goes off, your phone once in a great while goes off.
In 200 episodes, maybe twice. Yeah, it's it's been a long time, man. I mean, next week actually is our 4th anniversary of doing this.
Yeah, correct.
So, I mean, technically, we've actually been doing this for over 4 years now because we actually started in like mid-October, recorded a bunch, but our first actual releases were the first week in November.
Yeah, we recorded like 4 episodes first, and then slowly put them out, and then.
Well, we put them all out at once because that was something that I had read ahead of time. That they say is don't just give them one episode, give them multiple episodes so that they have more things to listen to. They're not just listening to one and going, oh, okay, and then forgetting about you by the next week.
Right, exactly. So get there, get the feel of it. I think I mean, honestly, in all actuality, I think our show has improved a great deal, since those early episodes.
We've definitely gotten better at doing it. I mean, we are by no means what I would call professional, but well, because also professionals actually make money.
Right. Yeah.
And this is still just a passion. That's not
entirely true. I mean, that's not entirely true. There's a lot of artists, some people out there that consider themselves artists that don't make a living at it.
That's true.
I think one of the best times when we really shine is when we have a guest on and we're able to kind of actually like do like almost an interview kind of conversation with them. I think we're good at that.
Yep.
And I think that we do a good job expressing what we're trying to say. We're just having fun talking about nerdy shit. And, that's important.
Pop culture, nerd, all sorts of shit. Mm-hmm. By the way, speaking of nerd stuff, one of the things I don't have on the list I didn't talk about with you before, but I did finish Battleground this week.
Oh.
So, holy shit. That book is worse than Changes.
Yeah. It really does. It lays out a lot of new ground for Harry Dresden, and Well, do you want to have a little talk about it tonight?
Well,
while it's still fresh in your brain and it's fresh in mine.
Well, we can talk about a little. I don't want to give too many spoilers away if there are people that are listening that read the books.
Sure, but it has been like a month.
Yeah,
since the book came out.
Yeah, but I know people read at different paces too. So I mean, like it took me a month to read the book. So, but then I'm not one I don't skim read. I actually read every single word, and I play it like a video in my head. So I'm actually a slow reader.
Sure. All right. Well, that's the way it should be. You should be giving it its proper due and reading the whole damn thing. Well, we can talk about it a little bit. We'll talk about it a little bit in a little while.
How was your week?
It was busy, as per usual at this time of year. My father apparently came into town, and
apparently you had no clue, huh?
Well, no, he came into town. My parents let me know like a week ahead of time, which okay, great. But I'm like, this is literally the busiest time of the year for me. Like, honestly, October is probably busier than November, even though November I'll be working longer hours. Mm-hmm. October is when I'm working multiple jobs, it's like honestly,
and this year you're not even working all the jobs that you normally do because the theater bazaar being closed. And
like honestly, October through September or excuse me, August through end of October, busiest time of the year for me because Ren Fair, and then I immediately go into Halloween stuff like Theater Bazaar. So I'm working pretty much 7 days a week for almost 3 months. Or well, no, I mean, yeah, roughly 7 days a week for almost 3 months. And then I have like after festival gets out, I have like a week of reprieve, and then we go into Theater Bazaar, and then I have like a weekend, and then a weekend repeat. Then I have another weekend, which is Halloween, and then we go even more into the last 3 weeks or so of prep for the parade. So, and at that point, it's 12-hour days and stuff. So, I'm killing myself. My dad came into town for medical shit, get some medical testing, and my sister was going out of town, so with her now fiance. So she wanted somebody to kind of keep an eye on her 10-year-old, dog. So, so my dad, because of happy coincidence. But yeah, my sister's boyfriend proposed to her, so that was some good news. And
cool.
Yeah.
Congrats to her.
I honestly don't know Jason very well, mainly because my sister and I don't spend a whole lot of time together. He seems like a cool dude. Every time we've interacted, he's been a nice guy. He's been a cool guy. He took the old writing desk off my hands that we had in the spare room, and he just gave me a computer monitor, actually a bigger one that's bigger than what I have now. I just haven't set it up yet because I would have to like rearrange my entire desk. So I have two monitors that are exactly the same, and this one would be bigger than one of them.
Yeah, I want one of those big ass curved monitors.
The $3,000 computer monitors.
Yeah, one of those. Or I'll just get myself like a 40-inch TV that I'll just set right here on my desk.
Right on
because that's cheaper than one of those monitors.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so it's just it's been a busy week, a crazy week. I wasn't able to see my dad, and he might be leaving. He's probably leaving on the 30th, so I was kind of bummed out because of I'm also doing this Halloween stroll right now at Canterbury
Village.
Canterbury.
Yeah, Cranberry Village.
I can't speak apparently. Canterbury Village, Old Canterbury Village. It's for those of you guys who don't know it. It's this kind of themed outdoor shopping center area. Over a couple of miles down Joslin Road, just off of I-75.
Yeah, well, way in the northern suburbs of Metro Detroit.
It's north of Pontiac, north of Auburn Hills, just before you hit Great Lakes Crossing Mall. And it's kind of a cool little place. It's got a lot, and all of the stores are local businesses. They're locally owned. They're not big. You're not gonna find the Gap at this place, but it's all designed and laid out like kind of a castle and a village. And
I got married at that castle.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's where I got married. That's where Renee and I got married. We got married at the King's Castle.
Yeah, I unfortunately couldn't be there because I was in Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really kind of cool, nice place. So the guys that's running this Halloween stroll, it's the second year, and they put a lot more money into it, and they've expanded it. It has a family-oriented part, and then they have what's called the Terror on Friday and Saturday nights. So at first we were running them separately, but now we're running them concurrently together, and it's a pretty big deal, and we're one of the only kind of Halloween kind of things going on right now. So since a lot of stuff got canceled, but it's been super. I'm super busy, and but
you still make the time to be here on Tuesday.
I do. I'm trying, but I make a pretty good. I'm making a pretty good like payday on that thing, and
that's good.
I'm tired, but I'm getting paid, so.
Well, at least, once November's over, you get a little bit of rest time. You get a couple months where you get just chill.
Well, December, people always ask me, what do you do when the parade's over? I go, I sleep.
Yeah.
I got about 5 weeks.
Yeah, don't call Russ on Black Friday.
No. A lot of December, I kind of just recover.
Mm-hmm.
January, I spend getting, kind of getting things ready and getting stuff together for Florida. And as far as I know, things are still moving forward for Bay Area Renaissance Festival, and we have a date. We have plans. I guess they're making plans to move forward. So I'm going to assume that my contract will.
Well,
Still
yeah, it's Florida, so they don't give a shit.
Exactly. My guess is that there will still be mask and like they'll have hand washing stations everywhere, and there'll still be masks and stuff. Will probably be the norm at the Renaissance Festival, even though they're probably not going to require them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm just that's what I kind of I do until Florida, and then I'm gonna really try though this season to try and get a lot of stuff accomplished before I go. Some artwork and some various things around the house here that have been needing to be done. So that's kind of what my plan is.
Cool.
But yeah, so crazy week. What was your week looking like?
Well, my week actually really sucked.
Right.
But not going to get into a lot of it. But just we really unexpectedly lost one of our dogs over the weekend to cancer that we didn't even know she had. But yeah, so that was really rough. It's still been rough. Not going to go into it now because I don't want to have the chance of breaking down in the middle of the show. So
right.
But other than that,
well, you have my condolences. Of course.
Thank you. On the plus side, I did get a new vehicle. I
didn't know that. You got a new car, huh?
Yep. Yeah. The other one was starting to go. There were some issues. So I actually went and traded it in, got more than I thought I was going to get for it from the dealership, and basically just got the same thing, only 5 years newer. So I got a 2018 Escape. It's a little bit sportier. It's got the panorama roof and the new sync system and stuff. So it's really nice. I've only gotten to drive it a little because I don't drive a lot right now. But
right.
But yeah, I actually drove it out to Topgolf last night. Met up with some friends. That was the farthest I've driven it, and that was cool. Had a good time there. It's basically just trying to stay busy and stay distracted, kind of thing right now.
Yeah, well, that's that's good. That's probably wise.
Yeah, studying for my the exam that I got coming up next Thursday, not this week, but the following Thursday. So 2 days after Election Day, because 1 week from today is E-Day, the Election Day.
That's right.
So.
Okay, so that being said, everybody, please get out and vote. Please get out and vote. Please.
Yes.
Please vote. Please vote. Please vote. Please. Please vote. Vote. Please vote. And preferably Democrat. Preferably vote.
I'm waiting for you to start singing. Double feature.
Double feature. Picture show. Well, unfortunately, I guess we should probably address that there has been a new Supreme Court justice has been confirmed.
Ramrodded through.
Very much so, and she is a religious nutbag. So, good. Welcome to The Handmaid's Tale. We really got to watch that stuff, man. We got some dark days coming, and I try and stay positive about a lot of this stuff, but I'm pretty kind of upset about the whole thing. I had some 6 people were arrested in Shelby Township at a protest, and I know one of them. She's an old friend of mine from Ren Fair, and she was arrested. She's like a mother of 4. She looks like she's 30 years. She's like 30 years old and looks like she's 15. But yeah, she was arrested, and then there was a controversy saying that the police strip searched a girl at when she was arrested or whatever. And so, but a bunch of my friends were like, yeah, they strip searched her and fuck them and all this other stuff. And then it turns out, no, they didn't. The girl slipped her restraints in the car. She was wearing just, they zip tied her. She slipped her restraints and then stripped her own, she took her own clothes off. And then was basically, look, guys, see, now it's easier for you. It's easier for you. And made a big deal out of it. And that is not the kind of protesting that needs to happen.
Yeah.
That is the kind of, you don't do that. You're that kind of thing happening, is discrediting everybody that's protesting for real and trying to protest in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try and get the cops in trouble, because there are good cops out there. There are good guys out there that are wearing the badge. They're having a tough time. Yes, is it a broken system? Absolutely. Is it a system that needs to be fixed and needs a complete and total overhaul? I couldn't agree more. But that being said, you don't try and change the system by lying, breaking it, like that. So anyway, thankfully, apparently, some people have been calling for the governor or I don't know if the governor, the township or whatever, to drop the charges against these people because they didn't do anything wrong. They were protesting. So we shall see.
But yes, get out and vote. If you can vote. If you can vote early. If you can't or don't want to, then make sure you get out that day. I plan on standing in line however long it takes.
Exactly. If you can, I think today was one of the last days to actually drop your ballot off, or do early voting. Also, highly recommend, do not mail your ballots. Drop them off if you can. Drop them off at a collection center, wherever.
Yeah, it's a little late to get them in now by election day. Got to take them into the actual ballot drop-off spots. Hey, Rich.
Yeah. Hey, Rich. Probably also because states have reported problems, getting them in and whatnot, so.
But we're actually at the point now where it's getting too close to election day to actually mail in ballots.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So what are you drinking, man?
I'm two-fisting it right now.
Okay.
I made a special drink. Renee actually found saw the recipe online, sent it to me, and we finally got to make them tonight. It is actually a drink. It is a very local drink here. It is made with Valentine's vodka and Bee Nectar's Zombie Killer.
Nice.
So it's you can kind of see it there. I got it in my first order glass here.
Yeah.
It's basically you take an orange slice and a tablespoon of raw sugar, put it in a glass, you muddle it, and then add in 1.5 parts vodka, 2.5 parts Zombie Killer. Garnish with a lime wedge, and drink it up, and it's pretty good. It's kind of like a little bit bitter orange juice is kind of the way it tastes. It's not bad. It's a little sweet. I would rather just have Zombie Killer, personally, or maybe even just mix Zombie Killer with a little bit of vodka if you really want to get drunk.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. But what I'm actually drinking tonight, and I thought this was a good idea for this episode particularly, episode 1, the first episode we ever did, I drank one of my favorite beers of all time, Two Hearted. Because it was our first episode, and I wanted to go to my go-to and my favorite beer. Well, tonight, I'm actually drinking, for episode 200, Double Two Hearted. So I don't actually have that up there where I could... Yeah, so there we go. Double Two Hearted Ale. This is... it's a double American IPA. It is, I believe, 11% ABV. And it is everything you love about our classic Two-Hearted Ale, now in a double IPA. With 2.5 times the amount of Centennial hops, Double Two-Hearted has intense pine and citrus notes, a resinous hop aroma, and rich malt character. And that's a pretty good description of it. It definitely has a really strong hop aroma, but it is not the citrus hop aroma that you get from like Two Hearted or a lot of the other IPAs, because it's a double IPA and it's got so many more hops in it than the original. It's actually extremely hop forward and extremely hop present. There's a extreme hop presence in the aroma, and I'd say it's more of a like earthy pine type of aroma. I'm gonna go ahead and take another sip. It's actually a kind of a dark color, like a dark coppery color. Let me take a sip here. So, you get a lot of the bittering of the hops. It's definitely a lot more bitter than Two Hearted is. Two Hearted to me is more citrus. This citrus hop flavor. This is more of the bitter hop flavor. I still like it. It does have a lot of malt flavor in there with it. So yeah, I mean, I really like this. It's a really good double IPA. If you know what a double IPA tastes like, it is much more intense in flavors. Both the malt and the hops are a lot more intense, and this actually has that. And a triple's even more than that. I don't actually like a lot of triples because it's just too much. This actually, though, has a good balance between the two, I think, and I really like it. I don't rank it quite as high as Two Hearted. I will take Two Hearted over this, but this is a nice change, and every once in a while, it's nice to have something like this. I think I'm gonna give this. I'll probably give this like 4.25 bottle caps. So it's really good. If you like double IPAs and you can find this, I would highly recommend it. But it is 11%, so watch yourself, especially if you're a lightweight like Russ.
He's right.
So what about you?
Well, I am indulging in another one of these Blake Cider's caramel apples.
Okay.
As I've had a few times, I still had a couple left in the fridge because I just haven't been drinking much lately. I gotta tell you, this is really growing on me. The more I drink it, the more often I've had it. Not like, the more I drink it, the better it tastes. No. The more times I have it, the more I'm liking it. It still tastes more like caramel, like candy to me, as opposed to caramel. Caramel candy. Because there's a difference.
It just tastes fake to me.
It tastes like a caramel flavor and not caramel.
Yeah, it tastes chemically. It tastes chemical to me.
A little bit. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't hate it. So,
I think we gave all of ours away.
Did you?
Yeah, that we had.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We might have one left down there.
I'm okay with it. No, it's all right. It's not one of my favorites from Blake's. I mean, I'll take a Rainbow Seeker.
Yeah, Rainbow Seeker. Yeah,
Rainbow Seeker, or Beardbender, or Wakefire over this.
See, I like Wakefire a lot. It's a little sweet for drinking all the time, but it's one of my favorites. But I like the cherry stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, Rainbow Seeker is really sweet because it's a pineapple, but it's still
But that one's got the sage to really kind of offset that. And that's a kind of it's really a weird flavor combination. It's not bad. I mean, I like it.
Oh no, not at all. But yeah, it's but it's still I still like it. I mean, I would potentially order it if I saw it and on tap somewhere or whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking tonight. So
cool.
I give it, if I were to rate it on a 1 to 5 scale, I'd probably give it like a 3.
Okay,
a little better than half. If I ever start doing that on a regular basis. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got a bunch of quick hits. So why don't you start with what you want something, and then I'll do a couple things.
All right. Well, the big thing this week is Mandalorian season 2 starts Friday.
Big day, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I would really like to get through Mandalorian season 1 again, just to watch it again and refresh my memory. I've watched the first episode. I haven't watched many more, and I'm running out of time here. So it's but the first season was so good, and I want to see where they go with this. Now that they're going to
It really was good. It was probably some of the best like sci-fi television, let alone Star Wars or television, let alone TV I'd seen in quite a long time. It was really, really, really good stuff.
Yeah, and I want to see where they're going to go with this because of him looking for the Jedi after
Yeah.
the Jedi were supposed to be gone. I mean,
Right.
Luke's supposed to be the last of the Jedi, and they're going to have Ahsoka Tano in it. They're
Right.
going to have all sorts of people from the cartoons or from the animated series showing up in the live action now.
Right. So, refresh my memory. It takes place a couple of years, so like 5-6 years after Jedi.
6 years after Jedi, or 5 years after Jedi, something like that.
So at that point, Luke is, and I mean, they're trying to like reestablish the Republic.
Yep.
Luke is probably just now starting to maybe get into trying to teach Jedi.
Resurgence of the Jedi Order.
Right. But it's still pretty new. I mean, you got to remember, too, a lot of people don't remember or don't realize that at the end of Jedi, Luke was still a pretty young guy.
Yeah, he would have been about 23.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the guy's under 30, and he's looking to try and restart essentially a monastic religious peacekeeping order of warrior mages. So it's just there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
So my guess is he'll be kind of busy for a while. Trying to find the Jedi, or even just find the race that is Yoda's race. Because
they're obviously rare.
Right. I think that's more so what he's trying to look for is maybe his people.
But they also talked about the Jedi. That's who his people are, is the Jedi.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to see. So it's going to be interesting to see.
I think from his perspective as a Mandalorian and not from Mandalore, is that the Mandalorians are more than just people from Mandalore. Right. And so like his people are the Mandalorians, whereas the child's people are the Jedi because they're the Force users.
All right. No, fair enough. But once again, like I said, it's going to be really interesting to see how they unpack all that stuff, what they do.
Favreau's been doing a great job. I have all confidence in his ability to do this well.
I as well. Just like he did well kickstartering the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's doing an incredible job kind of helming a lot of this new Star Wars that we're seeing. So,
and honestly, his character in the MCU is actually one of my favorites. I love Happy.
You like Happy Hogan?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like Happy too. I like how
he was kind of annoying in the Spider-Man ones because he was kind of full of himself a little bit.
Well, at the very least, yeah. I mean, in the first one specifically, he kind of blew Peter off a lot. Just was like, whatever, this kid, and kind of resented the fact that that Tony kind of put him in charge of him. And but then in the second one, he kind of was like, saw it more as an honor, really, because
it's because he wanted to get with Aunt May. So.
Well, plus the fact that he was also stooping Aunt May. So, that was messed up.
Hey, can you blame him though?
Hey, man, she's the hottest Aunt May we've ever seen. You know, so. I gotta say though, probably my favorite Aunt May was Lily Tomlin in Enter the Spider-Verse.
Oh, was she the one that did the voice?
Yeah, she was great. Oh, great! It's Liv. She was just so fucking funny. She was so great. She was in The Wrestler. Remember? Yes, CD. Thank you. She was hot, super hot in that too. I've always liked Marissa Tomei. I've always been a fan of hers.
My biological clock is ticking like this.
Yeah. She got a fucking Oscar nomination for that. I think she might have even won.
I think she won. I think she did actually win for Best Actress in a comedic role.
Yeah, supported. Yeah, but yes, Best Actress. In a comedic role. She was in. She's always done great stuff.
I remember her from A Different World.
Yeah. Yeah, she was on a different world. That was her like her early first
Yep.
early thing. So anyway, yeah, Mandalorian. It's coming up this Friday. It's going to be a big deal. I'm going to do my best. I got to do my Halloween stroll. Excuse me, Friday night. But my plan is to watch it when I get back, very very late, or possibly, excuse me, Saturday morning.
Yeah, for me it's going to depend. I'm going to try and binge the season 1 the rest of this week, and then hopefully watch that Friday night, if not Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So
then
we can talk about it next week.
Sure. Let's make sure that we try it. We at least get that viewing in before next
Yes. Yeah, because I think that'll be our next show that we talk about. Actually, we'll talk about Mandalorian on.
Quite correct. I believe you're correct. You want to move on? Do you got
something else? What do you got?
Okay, well, I did come across this article. They were unboxing the PS5 and everything that is in the box for the thing, cables and console and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that was one of the other things I actually had on here was to talk about was the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X they're coming out. It's right around the corner.
2 weeks. It's 2.5 weeks really. We're looking at the 12th, I think it is.
The 12th for PlayStation.
PlayStation. Mm-hmm.
And the Xbox is like the week after.
I think it's the week after or something like that. They have listings on Amazon, but there's no prices. There's not even
the 10th is the Xbox,
and then the 12th.
And the 12th is the PlayStation.
If you look it up on Amazon, it is listed, but there is no price and there is no we don't know when this is going to be in stock. It's just you can put it on your wish list and pray, I guess. I don't know.
Now
they've even said
Target has said that they will have them on the day of release.
Okay, well, that's great.
In store. They haven't said how many they'll have.
Right. Good luck getting them.
Yeah.
If each store has 100 of them, I'll be surprised.
What I've been reading is that they're saying that they think that a lot of stores are holding some stock back to have some, and they're just not announcing because they don't want disappointed customers. But that a lot of stores are going to have some. Plus, they're also expecting a lot of people who pre-ordered to not actually show up to pick them up. So within a couple of days, they will probably have even more.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, even the heads of Sony are like, yeah, you may not actually get get it on launch day. You might have to wait a couple of days, or you might have to wait a week or so. I mean, even if you pre-order,
they're planning on having more out within the next week. So they're saying if you don't get it the first day, then there is an expected large shipment a few days later.
My guess is that the factories are running, double shifts nonstop, trying to get those things turned out.
Yeah, Black Friday doorbuster, I don't think so. Unless Black Friday doorbuster at the actual price, and if that's the doorbuster, is that you actually can get one. I think that
exactly.
would be the...
I'm not, I'm not going to fucking kill myself to try and find one. If I got to wait a couple of months, I'll wait a couple of months,
I'm hoping I don't have to, but if I have to, then I have to. It just means that I delay getting some games that I was going to get.
Exactly. Like I promised myself, I'm not buying any more PS4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying anything. I mean, there's several games I could buy right now, and ones that will easily run on the PlayStation 5. They're all going to run on the PlayStation 5. But like Avengers or I'm actually for the first time very interested in the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, we're gonna get video games that are coming out in a little bit. That's one of the things I've got on the list.
So there's a whole bunch of them, but I'm just like, no, I'm gonna wait. I've got at least 6 to 8 games on my PS4 that I'm still excited to play. Games that I want to get back to. Fallout 76 has had a number of new updates that I really want to try.
We can get into games and we can lead this into games. But you were saying that you were watching the unboxing.
So the unboxing here, so what we've got, you're going to get in the box. Let me see. Get close to what comes in the box. Here's what's in the box.
What's in the box?
Shut up. The console itself, one DualSense wireless controller, one HDMI cable, one AC power cable, one USB-A to USB-C cable, and a console stand. Those are the things in the bare bones, box. That's it. You want to make sure that you get, in my opinion, you want to make sure that.
What? No Duck Hunt?
Man. Oh yes.
Oh yeah, there's the dog making fun of us and from Duck Hunt.
I'm sorry, there's not going to be any Duck Hunt, guys. You have to have a game included. There will not be a game included, apparently, in the basic system. I'm sure that they're going to probably do later on. They'll do some kind of.
I've already seen things for some of the games that are coming out.
And honestly, that's the thing. Honestly, if it's gonna play all of the PS4 games, I mean, you'll already have games to play on this thing. Because it's also going to upconvert a lot of them. I mean, almost all of these games are going to look better no matter what.
Well, that's the thing. So Renee and I were already talking about it. We're getting a new TV when we get the new console because we don't have a 4K TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So we need to have money for both. Sure.
Looking back, like the PS4 actually only came out in 2013, so it's only been 7 years. The setup was similar. But back then, the controller was USB-A to micro USB, and the PS4 included a simple headset mic in the box. That's not included here, but the new controller does have a built-in mic. So there's that. It's much bigger than the PS4. When placed vertically, the original PS4 was 11.5 inches tall, while the PS5 stands 16 inches tall.
Damn.
Consoles are getting larger, and the PS5 easily towers over its predecessors, as the Series X.
Yeah, they need all that room for all the electronics that are inside.
Well, it's also, I guess, the heat sink is the largest.
Main thing. They don't want it to overheat like the Xbox did.
Right, and so, and the PS4 actually never had overheating problems.
Right.
So that's fine. That's good. But this thing is, marginally, or not marginally, is substantially more powerful. So it is going to run hotter. So, but I guess the heatsink is one of the largest parts of it. So yeah, you can place it horizontally if you want.
Happen to deal with all those triangles. Makes the heat go up.
What's wrong with you, man?
Hey, that was that whole thing in that video. That there's a shortage of triangles in the world now, thanks to Xbox and PlayStation.
Can I finish this, Mr. Funny Man?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
Come on, it's my job when you're talking to interject jokes. That's how this. But
they got to be funny. They got to be jokes.
Hey, the CD's laughing. That's all I care about.
That's all I care about. Our one regular viewer. But yeah, you can put it horizontally, but there's a catch apparently. Like the PS3, the PS5 has a curved surface that can make it difficult to fit into your media cabinet. Probably to discourage you from stacking other components on top of it. But unlike the PS3, the new console isn't flat on the bottom either. The PS5 was clearly designed to stand vertically, and nearly every promo photo shows it in that orientation. So to place the PS5 horizontally, you need to slip a plastic stand underneath it, where it loosely clips to the rear fin. It levels the system out, but doesn't actually attach. So if you push or pull the console or move it around, the stand will usually get dislodged. It comes with that stand too. You're also supposed to use.
So you can lay it flat.
Right. You're also supposed to use the stand in the vertical orientation. For that, you need to rotate part of the plastic stand by about 45 degrees, and then literally attach it to the bottom with a screw. So no, not easy to switch from vertical to horizontal on the fly. They're saying the new DualSense wireless controller is a big step up. While the Xbox controller is a modestly modified take on the classic Xbox gamepad, the new PS5 controller has evolved far beyond the PS4 version in both design and functionality. The controller is bold but minimalistic, with the retro futurism of a Space 1999 prop, mixed with a creepy killer robot Ghost in the Shell vibe. That's pretty kind of cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest improvements are the adaptive triggers, which can offer resistance, built-in mic, and better haptic effects. So that's cool. So it's gonna vibrate more. It's gonna give you more feedback. The triggers will give you resistance when necessary. If you probably depending on the settings.
Yeah.
And then of course the built-in mic on it is pretty awesome too. So you can, if you don't want to wear one of these bad boys,
well,
you don't have to.
Well, it's got a mic, but does it have a speaker? That's the thing. Where can you hear the other people if you're trying
Probably
to talk
just through your own, through your own speakers of the TV.
My thing, like on the current, I'm pointing towards the basement where the PS4 is, but I know on those controllers they actually have the headphone jack in them. Does it say anything about having a headphone jack on the actual controller?
It does not at the moment. But let's see. I would imagine that it probably does have that, mainly just because there are going to be a lot of people that are going to want to plug one of these in. Like mine actually, you can't really see it on here, but mine actually comes with an adapter, so that I have the adapter so I can plug it into my computer. Mm-hmm. It's actually, if I were to unplug it, you could see that it could plug right into my PS4 controller. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking like you're gonna at least have everything you need to start playing.
Yeah.
Here. Well, I remember I think if I remember correctly, in the PS4, you had to go out, or the PS3, you actually had to go out and buy an HDMI cable. It didn't come with the HDMI cable.
Yeah.
So the 4 it did though. So.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And this kind of leads into what the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was the all the games that are coming out, like right at the same time. The stuff that's coming out just before all of this, and it's one of those where I'm like, well, are they going to come out for the PS5 as well? Because releasing a game just before a new system, I think, is a dumb move, personally.
Sure.
I think you either need to release it for the new system right after it comes out or as it comes out, or you release it beforehand, but you release it, months beforehand, unless they're just figuring on, getting just that market of people who aren't going to get the new system right away and wait 6 months.
By the way, I did just run across another article real quick that says there is no difference between the cooling for having it vertical or horizontal. They're saying, the designer's saying it's completely the same either way. But it does. But the original CNET reviewer did say, it looks like it was designed to be vertical. Anyway.
Yeah, Rich says he used the headphone jack a lot on the PS4 controller, and it was nice.
Yeah.
I never actually used it on there. I thought about it, but I never actually plugged a headset.
I used it a couple of times. It came with a little one-ear headset, or one-ear kind of thing. It was
mine
worked,
didn't
was
that
okay.
I remembered. I don't remember it coming with anything. Maybe it came with like a little thing that I just got rid of. And
you probably just got rid of because you probably already had one that worked well. I tried to like plug in my phone ones one time, and it completely did not work. So I had to get like the one out of the box. And like I said, it's just one ear one, and I kind of wanted the two. So then, but like I said, then I had to get a new headset for our show. So this one was...
Yeah. But yeah, so video games that are coming out in the next couple of weeks, actually. This Friday is Watch Dogs Legion, which I've been kind of looking at, and I wasn't sure about it. Now I'm really kind of leaning towards it. It's an Ubisoft game, which I like Ubisoft games. I'm a big fan of Ghost Recon. I'm a big fan of Far Cry, those types of games. The thing about Watch Dogs Legion is there are no NPCs in the game. Every person you meet is a playable character.
See, the thing is, they ran into that problem with Fallout 76, and it was a drag. Every human you met in Fallout 76 was another player.
No, not that. No, these are people you can take over and play.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
It's still a single player game.
Right.
They said there are 9 million playable characters in this game. But here's the big change. If you die, it's permadeath. you cannot play that character again.
Right.
So if you kill, old lady Irma, she dies, you killed her.
Right.
You can't play her anymore. You can go find somebody else to play, but you can't play her anymore.
Right.
So don't get too attached.
That's an interesting. It's an interesting gameplay. I mean, honestly, when I read about that game, I was like, oh, that seems pretty cool.
And it's the thing. I'm like, I kind of want to try it out just because. I mean, it looks cool. I like I said, I like Ubisoft stuff. Mm-hmm. It is very different. It's a whole different take on that whole thing, and the idea that you're in the resistance, as they call it, because London is in chaos, and that's where you're playing. But yeah, and that's the thing. If you get your character killed, then yep, you killed that character. They actually have a pretty funny like trailer for the game out right now that you can watch. It's basically this guy doing a college class. It's a college professor doing this whole class on it, and it's actually really kind of funny because one of the guys gets the person killed, and he goes off. He's like, "She had a family." So it was actually it's kind of funny in a dark humor kind of way. Right. But you brought up the next game that comes out after that I saw, which actually comes out the same day that the Xbox is launching its Series S and X. That's November 10th, and that's Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
You play fucking Viking.
See, now me, I remember playing the original Assassin's Creed on my PS3. It was one of the early games that was released for the PS3. And I actually rented it because it was one of the first video games I'd ever rented as well. Because I was like, I'm not going to rent games. I'm going to buy the games that I want, And I rented it, and a friend of mine came over and we played it. And I found it to be interesting, but at the same time, it was really, really repetitive. And most people actually say when it comes to Assassin's Creed games, skip the first one, that they really improved immensely on the second one. Just if you're curious about the storyline, just kind of read the wiki or whatever.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I found that same thing to be true because I had the first one for the PS3, and I found it so repetitive that I got boring. I got bored with it, and I never went back to it.
Exactly.
Now I've heard Black Flag is fantastic.
Right now, see, that's the other thing that they made massive improvements to the game and to the lore and everything. Kept adding more and more cool shit to it. Things like when you're playing a pirate and different things like that. I've heard Black Flag was really good because not just because of the gameplay itself, but also you're playing ship to ship combat and you're doing. There was just a lot of really, really cool stuff. And as much as I'd like to play everything, you just can't play everything.
Right.
But this is the first time I've actually went, oh, maybe, I just might give this one a shot. Because it looks really badass.
It does. And let's face it, man, Vikings are badass.
They really are. I mean, I'd play a pirate too. I mean, the pirate one was another one that made me go, oh, maybe I'll give this a shot. I just never got around to it. And but this one looks pretty cool. And the graphics are gorgeous. And it just looks really, really incredible. So probably gonna give that one a shot as well. Well, also coming up later on, and actually on release date, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is getting really great reviews too. Now, the interesting thing about this game is if you look at it on Amazon, it's priced at $50. Most of the brand new games are priced at $60. This one is priced at $50. Now, they're saying it's a full game, but they're also saying that it isn't maybe quite as big as some of the other games. But it is also a true sequel to the previous Spider-Man game that the PlayStation 4 released last year. That was award-winning and amazing and fantastic.
Well, and they were showing some things too. I've seen some stuff where they were talking about like you can have different different outfits for them. Like there's a pre-order outfit and stuff like that that looks really cool with the hood and
there's a ton of them. I mean, that was a thing. That was one of the coolest things about the first Spider-Man game with Peter Parker, is that all of the different Spider-Man costumes that you could earn or whatnot throughout the game. It was really fucking cool. There were all kinds of like really great different costumes, different things that he's worn in different comic books and in different shows, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's some really cool stuff. There was even a point where, like, you know, there was an outfit that made him look like a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there were some that were really really obscure things that were like where he was wearing the bombastic bagman, you know, where he was wearing an FF costume with just a bag over his head, you know, because that was a thing that happened in the comic book. So, really looking forward to that one. And then,
The one that I'm really looking forward to, that unfortunately we got bad news about today, is Cyberpunk 2077, which
right.
was supposed to be out on November 19th, and it's now been delayed 21 days to
Right.
December 10th.
Now, do you know why? Have you heard
They're
exactly why?
saying, yeah, they're saying that they need more time for testing. And the reason they're saying that, and my thing is then don't put out a fucking date that you can't meet.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
this is the third time that it's been delayed. I can understand moving it from April to September because of the pandemic. Okay,
Right.
you needed more time because things were happening.
Right.
Then you moved
Now,
it. Then you moved it from September to November. Okay, you needed a little more time. All right, but now why do you need another 21 days?
but
They're
again,
saying
yeah.
they're saying it's because they're trying to release it on 9 different systems at the same time.
Okay. Well, and fair enough. I mean, that is a lot. I mean, what? How? What? I mean, how many? Say what?
Yeah, they're saying 9 different systems because they're trying to release it for
The
the
PS4, the PS5,
5, the Xbox One, or the Xbox, um, whatever the current one is, the
the current
Xbox
one,
One,
the Xbox One,
the Series X and S, the PC, the Stadia,
the Stadia.
yeah,
Okay.
and I saw the whole list. But yeah, so they're saying that there's 9 different platforms that they're actually trying to get this out for.
I'll bet you some of the
And
platforms are maybe things that aren't available here in the States. But the thing is they've been playing that the game has been. I mean, there's 45-minute long videos of
that's 2 years old
gameplay
now.
footage, right? You'd think that they'd have it down by now. So I know games are expensive, and I know that there's a lot of work going into it. But holy shitballs, man! Um,
I really want. To me, this game needs to come out in 2020, just because that was the original Cyberpunk date year. Was the old video or the old tabletop game was Cyberpunk 2020.
yeah.
Now, granted, our world is nothing like that world, but still, I think that it would be cool, really cool, to have Cyberpunk come out in 2020. If it gets pushed back to next year, it won't be as special to me.
They're just saying December 10th, so they're only giving it. It's only 3 weeks. I just found it myself.
Yep, and they're saying, from what I saw, one of the guys from CD Projekt Red said that, you know, people are asking, you know, what is 21 days really going to get you? And he said, actually, in this case, it's going to get us a lot. We can do the testing that we need to do in these 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's been a lot of other negative things about CD Projekt Red that have come out where they are like, it's almost like sweatshop type of things where they're forcing their people to work mandatory overtime and lots of hours and to try and push this game out in a quick period.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've also heard there was some other toxic shit that was said earlier in the year from, you know, some guy making some dipshit comment, you know, that people took in the wrong way. And they even tried to say that, well, it's English is not his first language and it was all this other crap. So who knows? I don't know. But I mean, all what I do know is that overall CD Projekt Red makes some pretty solid games.
They do. They've got some really talented people.
Right, exactly. So I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see some great stuff. I just want to see it.
I do too.
I want to see it, and I think this game is going to be immense. It's going to be one of those games that is a game changer, as they say.
Well, it's
really amazing stuff.
And it's one of those that I'm looking at and I'm going, I would love to have it on the console, but I think I might need to get it for the PC.
I'm probably going to get it for the console. I think I might hold off on the next Bethesda game for my PC, mainly because thanks to Microsoft buying it, it may not be buying Bethesda. It may not be available on my PlayStation, the next Elder Scrolls game, but I still
Xbox
think,
exclusive.
I still think that this or PC and Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
I still think that this is what I'm going to get on my PlayStation.
My thing is it's going to be so immense. I'm not sure that I want it on the and I think there's going to be so many mods and things that you can do.
Yeah, there'll probably be a lot.
I don't know that I want it on my.
Well, that's one of the things about Bethesda games. You know, they talk about, like, yes, I played Skyrim and Fallout 4 on my PlayStation 4 and I loved it. But they talk about that the best mods available for those games are only available on Xbox or computer systems. Now you can mod Fallout 4 and Skyrim on your PlayStation, but they have limited mods. They don't allow you to have all the mods that are available.
Yeah.
So,
in all honesty, I'm actually surprised that I was able to stay away from Skyrim. I never actually.
So am I, honestly.
It's right up my alley, and I don't know why I've never played it, but
so good, dude.
It was one of those where I didn't get it right away when it came out. I mean, I used to love the Elder Scroll games. Morrowind is one of my all-time favorite games. It was one of the early games that really got me into PC gaming. And
the game is like 10 years old now, 11 years old, and it's still consistently a top seller. It's still, people are still playing it and loving it. You know, I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice by not playing Skyrim through.
Renee had a previous relationship that got broken up because of Skyrim.
So it surprised me. Not surprised me at all. A friend of mine in Florida, my friend Ashley, she just finally finished her first playthrough of the main storyline of Skyrim, and she's been playing the game for like 10 years since it came out. And she's in her early 20s. She's been playing it since she was a kid, and she won't. Skyrim consumed Rich's life, apparently.
Yeah, CD says he got so good at archery he could one-shot most things. You just shoot it in the knee, right?
See, that was my issue with Skyrim, is that dragons, if you eventually get powerful enough that dragons, even the elder dragons, aren't scary anymore. You know, like in my book, a dragon should always be scary no matter how powerful.
So they were like second edition D&D dragons. It's it was
I don't know.
Or first edition, whatever it was, where you were like, oh, it's a dragon, yeah, let's go kill it. Whereas, like in third edition, they actually made them fucking scary.
Right, exactly. If you can one shot a dragon, you should never be able to one shot a dragon, no matter how powerful you are. It should, the dragon should scale. Now, and that's one of the cool things about being able to mod the game, is that you can do things that will make the game maybe more interesting or more challenging, but not necessarily always more difficult. One of the mods that I was using was making it so that at night, it's fucking dark. You can't see if you don't have a spell that gives you night vision, a torch, or some kind of light spell, or you're in town where there are light sources. So, which is appropriate. If the moon comes out, you can see a little bit better, but I mean, in the standard vanilla game, you can always see in the dark somewhat, you know. So that's just a simple way of making the game a little more difficult, but not like necessarily making it a whole nother level, you know, like upping the difficulty level of the game, you know, actually the entire game. Other things like that. There's some really great atmosphere stuff. And then there's some mods that actually turn the game into an entirely different game. Like... They'll put you in a whole nother world, and it just uses the system, and they build a whole new world using that system. But those kind of games, those kind of mods aren't available on the PS4. You can only get those kind of mods through the Xbox or through Microsoft, or, you know, through the computer. Anyway, Skyrim, definitely. Chris, you should give it a shot. You should do it. You should do it.
Dude, I don't have time because PS5 is coming out in 2 weeks. So
well, it will be available on the PS5. I guarantee. Bethesda is not going to, you know, at the very least, it will run your a Skyrim disc.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, here I've got an article speaking of the PlayStation as we delve more into it again. The PlayStation boss Jim Ryan is warning that PS5 may be tough to find on launch, with high pre-order numbers indicating even more interest than Sony expected. Ryan offered some new insight on the PS5 launch situation in a recent interview with Reuters. He revealed that there were more PS5 pre-orders in the first 12 hours of availability than there were PS4 pre-orders in its first 12 weeks of availability. While that won't necessarily translate over to equally high numbers of people being out on the prowl for a console on launch day, it does make the situation seem all the more pressing. It may well be that not everybody who wants to buy a PS5 on launch day will be able to find one. However, he did note that Sony is working as hard as we ever can to provide enough systems for holiday shoppers. So yeah, it's, you know, you may have to wait a couple of weeks if you don't get one right away.
Yeah, and I'm figuring I may wind up having to wait a couple of weeks, right. And if that's the case, that's fine. I still got plenty to play on my PlayStation. Right. I'm really thinking that I'm waiting until Black Friday to look for a TV anyway. So
sure. So now also,
although I'm not going out to do it, I'm going to order one online and either go pick it up at curbside or
do it Cyber Monday, man. Do it Cyber Monday.
Well, the thing is Best Buy does all their stuff almost all their deals. They do have a few doorbusters that aren't online, but basically all the Black Friday deals for Best Buy are online as well. I will sit around on Thanksgiving night after, you know, with the turkey belly, and sit there and be looking at my computer and shopping on Best Buy and looking for what the Black Friday deals are. It's where I get a lot of my movies and things like that.
Sure. So
yeah, that's true. Should they really have doorbusters with COVID this year, though? Yeah, I mean, Black Friday is going to be a different beast this year.
There was a lot of debate as to whether even there was going to be Black Friday because of COVID and whatnot. So I think they're going to have it anyway, though, because they're fools. Couple of games that I noticed too. Also, February 18th. Is the release of Far Cry 6.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that one.
I just got into Far Cry 5 a few months ago. I'm still playing it. I'm kind of playing it slowly. I got to admit, I'm enjoying this game a lot.
Dude, it's so much fun.
Even though more modern, like kind of modern shoot 'em up games, I've never really been a big fan of. But this game really has got a lot of story to it. It's really pretty fucking cool. So Far Cry 6, featuring Giancarlo Esposito, who is the main villain in The Mandalorian. He is in this game as the villain.
Well, you know what's funny? Back to The Mandalorian, they're saying that, from what I've been seeing, well, he looked like he was going to be the main villain. They're saying he's really not in the next season. That you're going to see a different side of him.
I actually briefly saw a headline of an article that says too that like he may not whatever it is his character,
Gideon.
Moff Gideon may not be the villain you think he is.
Yeah.
So. So Far Cry 6 looks cool. Because I mean, honestly, the graphics look amazing.
Far Cry 5 is to this day one of the most fun games I played.
It is pretty awesome.
That's what got me into like the whole first person shooter thing, and I've really gotten into it.
I've been playing it on my computer as well, which is, I mean, and games like that I kind of prefer to play on a console, but it was on sale. It was on a Steam sale, and I got that and its little sequel, New Dawn,
which I haven't gotten that one.
Right, I got it for like next to nothing, so I was like, yeah, why not?
New Dawn looked a little too out there for me, with like, you know, buzzsaw guns and shit like that. It's like,
well, we'll see. I don't know. I'll have to let you know. And another game that I saw coming up, not to move along here, but also coming out next year, Christmas of next year, or end of the year, season of next year of 21, is a new Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now, this apparently is a collected edition game of all the movie, Lego versions of all 9 movies. And it looks like, from what it looks like to me, that it's not just going to be a repackaging the previous games. It looks like they're going to probably do that, but also add a ton of new content.
Okay, because I've got the Star Wars Saga right now.
I do too.
Which is the 1 through 6.
Right, I have that as well. And so this is going to have, the stuff for the new movies and and everything. It says fly freely through the galaxy, discover many of the saga's most legendary locations, switch between films at will. This is the ultimate Lego Star Wars experience. So I love the Lego games, and Lego Star Wars was absolutely just immensely fun. So I will probably begin.
Yeah, I have those. I haven't played it a lot. I should probably get back to it and play it some more. I played a little bit of Lego Batman when it was free on Xbox. That was a lot. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, the nice thing about those games is they make for really good palate cleansers when you are.
Wow, Belmont just went crazy.
When you are,
I think he just heard his friend across or behind us. So
sure, but when you're playing other games that are really heavy and like Far Cry or whatever, a game like Star Wars is a really good game to just kind of like I said, cleanse the palate, just kind of go. You know, you just or any of the Lego games, just kind of like enjoy a much lighter game.
Yeah, I can see that. I understand what you mean by the palate cleanser. So yeah,
exactly. So moving on, I got a couple of things here. Bill and Ted Face the Music is coming to Blu-ray and DVD pretty much right around the corner, November 10th.
I'll pick it up, and that's when I'll watch it. So.
Yeah, me too. I haven't watched it yet. I've been meaning to, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm looking forward to that. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard good.
I've heard bad. I'll make my own decision.
I'll make my own decisions as well. I'm actually probably going to. There's also a DVD that you can buy of both of them together, a Blu-ray. That's for like $35. I think I'm probably going to pick that up as well.
Of the trilogy?
Of the first two.
Oh, the first two. Yeah. I want. Then that's the thing. I don't own the first two either, so I would like to get those.
Me as
particularly the first one. The second one, I'm not a big fan of, but.
You know what? If they come together, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, if they come together, I'll get it.
Also, as a reminder, the sequel to one of my favorite books I've read in the last few years, Ready Player One, is coming out. The sequel to that, Ready Player Two, right around Thanksgiving, November 24th.
The novel?
Yes, the novel.
Okay, I will check that out because that's another one of those where I was highly disappointed in the movie. And
the book is
the book is so much better. I thought the book was absolutely fantastic. The movie was highly disappointing.
I enjoyed the movie, but it definitely did fall short of from my expectations for the book.
The way that it started right off, I thought was horrible. The writing out of the entire school and all that was horrible.
I think it would have made for a better show than a movie.
I think just about any book would make for a better show than a movie.
Sure, but if they had made it kind of like what they did with Good Omens, if it just been like a 6-episode miniseries,
yeah,
I think that would have been a lot better. Because there is a lot to deal with in that book, a lot to unpack.
There is, and that's why I don't think that one. Well, and there's so many IPs that we've talked about before. There are so many IPs in there that getting all of them was really difficult. Would be really difficult, but the sheer way that they handled it, I don't think was well done, and for at least not for me.
I would have to agree with that.
But that book,
75%.
That book truly resonated with me as a child of the '80s. I really, really identified with that book, and I thought that it was fantastic.
Because we would have been friends with James Holliday, or we would have been contemporaries of James Holliday. The character.
He'd have been one of our people.
He would have been one of our people, exactly. To the blurb here that they're talking about: an unexpected quest, 2 worlds at stake. Are you ready? Days after winning Oasis founder James Halliday's contest, Wade Watts makes a discovery that changes everything. Hidden within Halliday's vaults, waiting for his heir to find, lies a technological advancement that will once again change the world and make the Oasis 1,000 times more wondrous and addictive than even Wade dreamed possible. With it comes a new riddle and a new quest, a last Easter egg from Halliday hinting at a mysterious prize, and an unexpected, impossibly powerful and dangerous new rival awaits, one who'll kill millions to get what he wants. Wade's life and the future of the Oasis are again at stake, but this time the fate of humanity also hangs in the balance. Lovingly nostalgic and wildly original as only Ernest Cline could conceive it, Ready Player 2 takes us on another imaginative, fun, action-packed adventure through his beloved virtual universe and jolts us thrillingly into the future once again. So now I don't think we're probably going to have to worry about a movie version of this or a sequel to Ready Player One movie-wise because, excuse me, honestly, it didn't do very well. I mean, it did, from what I understand, it did okay at the theater, but it wasn't well enough to where they'd be like, yeah, let's make a sequel. So I think this might be what we're gonna get when it God damn, excuse me, when it comes to sequels for this kind of stuff. So yeah, Ready Player 2. November
Valkyrie
24th.
has entered the game.
So that's November 24th.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pick that up. I'll get it on my Kindle and read it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably I
Kindle, the only thing from Amazon that I actually have.
I did sign up recently for the hang on, what is it? I did sign up recently for Audible so that I could get and listen to the audiobooks for the for Battlegrounds and Peace Talks. So maybe it'll be available, when I get a credit or something like that. But I think, Audible is not something I'm probably going to stick with, mainly just because it's just so expensive. At least not the subscription of it, because it is crazy.
It's like $15 a month, and I'm like, I don't listen to it. I wouldn't listen to enough books to make that worth it.
And I love audiobooks, but I'm also listening to a lot of other things. I'm doing a lot of other things with it, so I don't know if I'm going to have the time or want to do that. Also, right around the corner, November 17th, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that. Which reminds me, I got to pre-order that so that I can have it the day it comes out.
I want to get a hard copy of it. Plus, I'm probably going to add it to my D&D Beyond as well. But I'm going to get a hard copy of that.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things I'm going to have to read through it before I say yes or no on anything for you guys in the campaign.
Right. I hear it's got some really great new rules and some really new stuff.
Yeah, I got to see, because I'm real skeptical, and I know that they take the stuff in the Unearthed Arcana and kind of tone it a lot of it down to make it it fit better within the world. But anything that comes from the Unearthed Arcana, I take with a grain of salt, because a lot of that stuff is just so OP that it's just.
Sure. Well, they also said the same stuff about Xanathar's too. There's a lot of stuff in Xanathar's Guide, which was another kind of.
Well, and there's one thing in Xanathar's Guide that we have in our campaign that I'm like, and that's Euchariah's Bountiful Luck.
Oh yeah.
The fact that he can cancel natural ones for anyone within 30 feet.
Yes.
Once per round.
Is it natural ones or is it failures?
It's natural ones.
Okay. Yeah, there's a number of there are a few things that in the game that are definitely kind of like game breakers. It can be game breakers. And speaking of D&D,
I didn't think it would come into effect as much as it has in the campaign. Is really what it is.
Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons too, I actually caught up. I am on the current episode that was just released yesterday of Critical Role.
Wow, you're past me then, because I'm still I'm on like 106 or 107.
Yeah, and plus you also haven't finished the first campaign either.
Right.
So yeah, I have actually now listened to more Critical Role than you.
Yep.
I am currently on the current episode, and
well, I've been doing a lot of studying rather than listening to Critical Role at work. So
I love it, man. I think it's been so good, and it's just getting better. The stuff they're doing with the searching for Molly Mock and or what's going on with him, huh? Oh, that's right. You're not ahead yet. Yeah,
dude, shut the fuck up. You just fucking spoilered it. Thanks, fucking asshole.
I forgot that there was it's not.
I haven't even gotten to Traveler Con yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Fucking douchebag. You are the worst about that shit.
I thought we talked about this.
No.
I thought you were the one that told me about.
No, we didn't talk about shit like this. So just shut the fuck up.
Well, who was I talking to then?
I don't know, but it wasn't me. let's move on.
All right. All right. So I got some other stuff here. Let me see. I got American Gods season 3 release date revealed by Neil Gaiman. Looks like January 10th. We'll be getting the 3rd season of American Gods. I still haven't completed that yet, but I've heard just wonderful things about the show. I actually bought both seasons of American Gods on Blu-ray.
I stopped watching after a couple of episodes of.
Yeah, I know. I think I remember you saying you didn't care for it, but I really
love the books. Love the book. Didn't care for the series. It was too artsy.
Right. So the Baldur's Gate 3 game is doing extremely well. Even though they haven't released the full game, it is people are through the moon for this game. They're saying wonderful things. I've
heard both good and bad.
Well, I've heard that the complaints that they have about it are just things that are probably going to be fixed as they release patches and things like that. That the gameplay is gorgeous. The graphics are amazing.
I've heard all that.
Very much a Dungeons and Dragons game. The story is really great. They have said that there are certain things like older systems may not be able to run it very well. This is a game that is going to probably tax your capabilities. So you may not be able to, even a computer that has a pretty serious system may not be able to run it at its max, graphics capabilities.
Yeah, I don't know if my graphics card will handle it because I got an older graphics card, but I mean it was the top of the line, a while back.
Yeah.
But the rest of my system works really well. It's good enough for streaming now.
Sure. I have a pretty solid video card. It's a couple years old now, but it's still pretty good. And so I should be able to run this game pretty well. But they're saying really, really cool, good stuff. Like I said, there are a lot of different. They just released a new patch that's going to fix a ton of stuff. So I think that as much as we were bummed out that they didn't release the full game this year, I think that we are seeing a lot of massive improvements and fixes. And this is really, this is kind of almost like a good, a step up from beta, because they haven't released the full game, but they're fixing a lot of stuff. So this is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I read an article from PC Gamer where a guy was talking about that he had to uninstall Baldur's Gate 3 or risk never playing beyond early access.
He had to what?
Uninstall it or risk never playing beyond the early access because he was getting so frustrated with just having so little that he could actually play.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me because, like I said, they did limit a great deal of what they actually put out. There's there's only there's only 6 classes or 6 races, and there's a lot of the races haven't been released. A lot of the various classes that are going to be available. So yeah. Here's a couple of things. The Snyder Cut is shooting again. They have said that it is now the Snyder Cut will be considered canon.
Yes.
As opposed to the theatrical release of Justice League. I'm looking forward to seeing this, but I'm also really looking forward to having it in a hard copy. I want a Blu-ray of this as well. They're saying a couple of different things. Jared Leto will be back playing the Joker at some point.
That's fucking stupid.
Well, that's the thing. That's what who he is, and we've talked about this before. I didn't hate Jared Leto as the Joker. I think it was an interesting take on a modern Joker.
I think he could do a good job as Joker. Just the aesthetics of Joker, which we've talked about, I thought were horrid.
The look
absolutely horrid.
Right. The look needs to be changed, but I think he played a really good job.
I don't like the look of Harley in the DCEU either.
Yeah, but I think that was improved, honestly, in Birds of Prey. I think she looks
yes and no.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still all the tattoos on both of them. They're both complete chaos agents, and
And having something as permanent as
its
a tattoo
just doesn't make sense.
And that was one of the things that really bothered me as well. But Joe Manganiello is returning as Deathstroke. He was in the post-credit scene in Batman versus Superman, and that was really, people were very excited. They thought, wow, what a great casting, Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke. And apparently the director himself has teased the additional photography currently taking place, so he will be seeing that as well. We're going to see some like just massive.
It's going to be a completely different movie.
Yeah. I mean, they're saying a 4-episode miniseries as opposed to, you know, a 2-hour movie. You know those episodes are going to be longer than an hour. They're going to be huge.
And that's the thing. To me, then it's not the Snyder cut. It's just something different.
Yeah.
Because the Snyder cut would be what he would have done with a 2-hour movie.
Snyder has said on Vero that his cut involves no compromise, while the theatrical version was all compromise. So I think, yes, I think we're going to see something entirely different. I think it's going to be 10 times better. And
that's the thing. I think calling it the Snyder cut is an injustice just because it's not truly the Snyder cut. Because the Snyder cut means he would have had to have dealt with the same things that it would have been for the theatrical release. That would be the Snyder cut. Yeah. This is the Snyder vision.
Right.
This is not the Snyder cut. It's the Snyder vision.
I liked, and like I've said before, I liked Justice League. I mean, it wasn't my favorite superhero movie ever, but overall, I liked Joss Whedon's cut of the movie. But I think this is going to be ultimately better. Yeah,
I had issues with it, but I thought it was one of the better of the DCEU. I mean, it didn't compare to Wonder Woman, but it was, which I still had issues with, but it was still a good enough movie to watch.
Sure, I'm very much hoping that it kind of redeems a lot of things when it comes to the DC cinematic universe. You know,
the DC cinematic universe, I mean, outside of Wonder Woman and I think Aquaman, it needs a complete reset. I mean, I like Cavill.
And I think that's what this is going to do.
Yeah, I like Cavill as Superman. I really do. But I think outside of that, the movies themselves and everything, I think they need a reset. They need a reboot. They're
all coming back too. I mean, apparently they're all coming back to do reboots, reshoots. Apparently Affleck is back in the Batsuit. I think everybody is coming back.
They're just going to white out Cavill's mustache again.
He doesn't have a mustache.
He should grow one just because.
From what I understand, his experience doing this has reignited his interest in playing Superman. I mean, he never not. I mean, he really. I don't think he was completely done playing Superman anyway. But it's reignited a lot of interest in him returning as Superman theatrically too. So, not just with him, but for a lot of people. So we'll see.
No, you're right, CD. Affleck doesn't deserve a redo.
I don't know. I thought Affleck was a pretty good Batman. I didn't. I know. You apparently, if it's
I like Ben Affleck. Okay, I like him as an actor. I've liked him in a lot of things that he's done. I did not like him as Batman.
What is it that bothered you about it? I mean, why did you think he was a bad Batman?
Honestly, I don't know that it was him. I thought it was the script. I really didn't care for him in that role or the way that they portrayed Batman in there. Right.
I did have some problems. I did feel like he was too loose with his identity. Even with the characters, even with the other members of the Justice League. I mean, he didn't reveal his identity to them until quite a while. You know? So there was, I had issues with that. But overall, I thought he was all right. I thought the physicality he had it. I liked the design of the costume. I liked kind of his version of Bruce Wayne, even though he was a very angry Bruce Wayne. I really wanted to see more about what happened. You know, I wanted to see what happened to Robin. I wanted to see what what Snyder was planning for Batman, and so I think we all kind of got shafted on that one. So
I will say I am still looking forward to the Batman, though.
Yes. That being said, Yes, I am. From what I've seen so far, I am looking forward to this new Batman that is coming out.
So speaking of comic book news,
Okay.
um, Oscar, they're saying Oscar Isaac
Hmm.
is in talks and most likely will be playing Moon Knight.
Yes, I was going to bring that one up as well. I am interested to see what they are going to do about that because, man, that's a tough one. Moon Knight is one of those characters that um, could potentially be weird to do. You know, he's got a lot of. I mean, they've depicted him as a dissociative identity disorder. So, not so that's the thing. Mark Spector isn't just Mark Spector and Moon Knight. He's Mark Spector, Moon Knight, and like two other guys. Um, so it could be
Well, yeah,
interesting to see.
and originally he was just taking on those personas to gather information and
Right,
things
they
like that.
were
It was
kind of like the way Batman is matches Malone as well, and some of he has a couple. I mean, Bruce Wayne has a established criminal identity in the criminal underworld that he kind of
well,
leans on from time to
and
time.
that's the thing. Moon Knight was kind of a, in a lot of ways, he that I saw,
He became a Batman
yeah,
knockoff
he was basically a mystic Batman.
to some extent. Yeah,
Yeah,
he actually got his start in Werewolf by Night. He
right.
started off as being a supposedly a werewolf hunter
Yep.
because he was, or a lycanthrope hunter because he was all silver. Everything
Yep.
was
All his
silver.
weapons were silver, and yep.
And
I've read that, and oh my god, that's hard to read. That was.
yeah, it was bad. I mean, and also like Moon Knight, you know, I mean, he
Yeah.
comes out with the moon and all this, whatever. It was, but then they thankfully like changed that and expanded beyond it. And honestly, I always loved Moon Knight. I thought he was a really cool character.
His costume design to me was just always fantastic.
Exactly.
That was
this huge cape and his
yeah.
hood, and he's all white at night. So he's
Yep.
like, you know, I mean, that's who's gonna fuck with a superhero that wears white at night so you can see him.
Yep.
You know, that's fucking frightening. So, yeah, Moon Knight though might be a name unfamiliar to all, but the most ardent of comic book fans, least of all because the announcement of the Moon Knight series was sandwiched in between Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk series reveals at D23 last year. So essentially, Marvel's answer to Batman, Moon Knight operates with several secret identities, including millionaire Stephen Grant, to help maintain a level of secrecy amid his by-night crime-fighting side hustle. Much like the Dark Knight, he has seriously sharp fighting skills, as well as an array of gadgets at his disposal. Now, Marvel has depicted him a little more cuckoo lately over the last few years, but they've did some really interesting writing with him, and I don't know. I could be I could be down for this, man. I mean, they were already talking about that Iron Man and Luke Cage returning to the MCU,
and Daredevil.
There's also talking about Daredevil showing up in the new Spider-Man movie and things like that. So I think particularly if they slowly reintroduce those characters into the movies and the shows and stuff like that, I think that'd be really great. And seeing
and in all honesty, outside of Iron Fist, I think the casting for all of those characters was fantastic.
Sure, absolutely.
And even Iron Fist got better in the second season.
Yeah,
I think the first season was horrid writing. I think that entire
the first season was really rough.
It was really bad.
But the second season was a vast improvement on Iron Fist.
Yeah. I'm still not crazy about the casting, but I didn't hate it as much after the second season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but this reveal is big news, particularly with them talking about Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black is now set to play She-Hulk, and newcomer Iman Vellani is stepping in the stretchy shoes of Kamala Khan. In these Marvel Disney Plus series, they're saying that Oscar Isaac is a pretty big star these days. So for him to
for those that don't know, he was Poe Dameron in the last 3 Star Wars movies.
Exactly. So I think this could be pretty cool. I think the guy's got the chops, and I think he could really make a pretty good Moon Knight. The nice thing about Moon Knight too, honestly, is the mask that Moon Knight wears covers his face completely. So you don't have like problems with like the bat squeeze that you see.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, you just cover the whole face, and then you just
Answer to me.
Yeah, and then you just do a full face mask, and then you just have a voice dub.
Batman. Yeah. That was one of the things that always used to drive me crazy about Christian Bale's Batman. He always looked like his face was being squozen. It's like you can see the nose a little bit here. It's, I'm the Batman.
Well, and a lot of people had
Gotham deserves.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. A lot of people had problems with the way that he talked when he was Batman. But I mean, I understand it. He was trying to disguise his voice. He didn't use voice changing technology. He just gruffed up his voice.
I'm the Batman.
I'm Batman. And I mean, because if he had just said, I'm Batman, people would go like, that voice is really familiar.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's fucking Bruce Wayne.
Right. So no, and personally though, I liked the whole idea that they introduced with Ben Affleck's Batman is that he had like a voice changer. He had something that at least muffled and changed the timbre of his voice.
And that's what I like about like in Flash when Barry Allen talks, he modulates his voice through speed.
Right.
And stuff like that. But yeah, not much better than Bane. Bane was a mistake the way that they did that. The way that they did, I like the way they portrayed Bane in the Chris Nolan movies, but I didn't like the I was born in it. That thing. It just made it too hard to understand him, and I understand why they did it, but I think it could have been done better.
I agree. That was one of the biggest things that bothered me about Bane was the voice. And
that actually would have been funny. CD just said the two could have had a funny "What did you say? What did you say?" routine.
Yeah. There's the it was just, I mean, it was so ridiculous. Like the funny thing is that I mean, the actor who portrayed Bane is a really great actor, and
Tom Hardy, wasn't it?
It was Tom Hardy,
yeah.
And he did the voice. In fact, and honestly, he had to end up, from what I understand it, or end up re-dubbing his entire voice in the movie because he had, because it was so hard to hear everything from that through that mask. So he had to do ADR on his entire scene. And he did that crazy voice.
Well,
that he makes fun of, and that nobody really likes. Strawberries are packed with fiber.
Well, and I love that they use that in Harley Quinn, the animated series.
Yeah.
That they do that same voice in there.
And the thing is ultimately the more fucked up thing about it was Bane he's Hispanic.
Yeah.
He comes from like a Spanish speaking island in like the Caribbean or something like that, or in Central America. He's in Central America. He's supposed to be like, he should have a Spanish accent at least, not some weird, strange voice. That was very disappointing, honestly. Let's see.
That makes it more funny. See.
Yeah. So a couple of other things here. Apparently, Dungeons & Dragons got a big Black Friday deal coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looks like the early D&D Black Friday sale gets you big discounts on the latest books, including Icewind Dale and Curse of Strahd Revamped. The event itself may be a few weeks away, but a Dungeons & Dragons Black Friday sale has already begun. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're still calling it Black Friday either. In fact, you can save over 40% on almost every book and a ton of D&D dice right now. That includes discounts on the latest horror adventures of Curse of Strahd Revamped and Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden just in time for Halloween. In other words. So it looks like, let's see, for those of you who like to start playing or want to expand their collection, the early D&D Black Friday sale is a good opportunity, although the range may get further price cuts down the road as we approach the full D&D Black Friday deals. These offers are pretty great by themselves. So, yeah. Yeah, so if you just look at the books on Amazon, it looks like they have dramatically cut prices on a lot of stuff on Amazon. It says the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden, a new book, has tumbled down to just $29.97 on Amazon, 40% less. So pretty good.
So I was just
That's
looking.
the thing. Some of these D&D books are fucking pricey these days.
Yeah, they are.
Like, really, like crazy expensive.
So I was looking up Bane just to see. It's Santa Prisca is the prison.
Santa Prisca. Yeah,
that's the thing. But when you actually look him up on Google, it actually says that his birthplace is England.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, from what I understand,
he basically grew up in Santa Prisca. He actually served out his father's sentence.
He lived in a prison because his father he had to serve his father's prison sentence.
His father was Edmund Dorrance, better known as King Snake.
Correct. Yeah. That sounds familiar actually.
Yeah. But anyway, so one of the things that I had left, because we're already at like almost an hour and 40, but I really wanted to bring this up.
It's our 200th anniversary episode. Fuck.
Yeah, but the last two have gone like 2 hours, so I've been trying to keep them more to our normal. But one of the things, to get off of comic books and stuff like that, this is to go back to I don't even remember what year it came out. I think it was the early 90s, so it was my early 20s, though. But the Peacock, I just saw this today. I got an email from them that they're bringing back Saved by the Bell.
Yes, yeah.
An updated version. And they're bringing back Zach, Kelly, Slater, and Jesse. And it looks like mostly Slater and Jesse. Zach and Kelly are going to make special appearances. Because from what I'm getting from the preview, Zach's the fucking governor.
Really?
Yes. And Kelly's his wife.
Oh, man.
And
that's funny.
And I believe Jesse has a doctorate. And then Slater's like the coach at the school.
Yeah, I think
at Bayside.
I think Slater is going to be the one you see more often. It looks like, but yeah, I saw the.
I think Slater and Jesse both are, because it looks like she's taking over as like principal of the school.
Right. There's a new trailer. I saw the first trailer and I kind of went, no fucking way.
I didn't see a trailer before today.
Oh, there was a trailer a couple weeks ago. Pretty much, I think when the Peacock first started, like it was one of those first things they put up there. I was like, no fucking way. Saved by the Bell, but yeah, they've just released a new trailer today, and I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty funny, actually. It's enough. That's the thing. It's enough to where I watched it and went, I might have to check that out.
Yeah. See, the thing about Saved by the Bell is when Saved by the Bell started, I think, a freshman or sophomore. I think I was a sophomore, and I remember watching it a little bit, like when I was in high school, because they all, it did take place in high school, but it was so
it started in 89.
Right. Okay,
so 89 to 93.
Right. So I would have been, it was during my high school years. Now, Saved by the Bell, honestly, skewed a little younger. I think its general audience is probably more junior high.
It actually started on Disney.
Yeah, it was called Good Morning Miss Bliss.
Yes. Yeah. And that was actually where it started, was on the Disney Channel, and it went for like a season or two, something like that.
It had one season as Good Morning Miss Bliss, and then
Disney dumped it, and NBC picked it up.
Right. They retooled it. They got rid of Haley Mills, who was like the child actress, who had, the Disney child actress and stuff. And they recast several characters. They kept, what's his name, who plays Zach Morris. They kept
Zach, Screech, and Lisa.
Yeah. And then the other characters they ended up adding in later on.
Which in the new one, Lisa's not in it. And of course, Screech isn't in it.
No.
But
my guess is that even though Screech needs fucking money, he wouldn't do this.
Well, I think he would do it. I don't think they want him in it.
I don't think they want him either. But I would guess. I mean, he's burned a lot of bridges. I would guess that he probably wouldn't even want it. The last time I saw anything that he even did remotely work wise was he was on like an episode of like, or he's on a season of like the Celebrity Biggest Loser or something like that, like where they had the weight loss show for celebrities, and he was a complete fucking prick the whole time. And
Yeah. So CD said that he's seen Dustin at a bar a lot in real life.
Oh,
and
really?
That was
Dustin
one of the things.
Diamond, really?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've seen that he actually is in Wisconsin. He's been arrested multiple times. He actually got arrested for pulling a switchblade in a fight at one point, and then got arrested again for violating his parole and wound up back in jail. So yeah, it's knife arrest. Yep.
Knife arrest. Yep. So I guess CD lives in the Milwaukee area. I mean, yeah. But like I said, I'm actually kind of tickled about the whole thing. I think that's going to be really funny. The Saved by the Bell trailer. I'm going to actually watch.
Dude, I thought Tiffany Amber Tyson was just
decent.
So,
yeah,
decent.
she was
decent. Was so hot.
So hot, and it's so funny about the what's a woman who plays I can't think right now. Apparently, the woman who plays
Jessie. Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley, who's from Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Right. She got out of I had friends that knew her. I had friends that
Showgirls, baby.
Honestly, arguably considered one of the worst movies of all time. Her career was actually kind of on an upswing, and after she got done with Saved by the Bell, a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, she's the next new big thing." And then she did Showgirls, probably to kind of branch it, show that she had range, and that movie was terrible, And the funny thing is it's actually pretty funny to watch now because it's so bad. It doesn't exactly come back around and it is good again, but it's still really like, wow, this is so fucking so bad. It's still kind of funny to watch. And from what I actually heard too, that a lot of times the director doesn't even blame her. He blames himself. Paul Verhoeven thinks that he feels because he pushed her to almost overact. That almost everything that she did, he was like, no, I want more. I want more from you. And give me more. And then, so she did. And then those are the cuts he used. Those are the shots he used. Where she's almost ridiculous. I mean, so one of these days, I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I've been planning on rewatching it because holy shit. So yeah. All right. So let me touch on a couple of things before we go.
Yeah, just one thing real quick, just on the release date. November 25th is when Saved by the Bell comes back
right
back to the
Peacock.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Peacock. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to be doing like an episode a week or what, or if they're just going to dump it all out there. Which, by the way, speaking of the Peacock, I've been watching Brave New World. Fucking amazing. Great fucking show. It's only, I think you can watch the first episode on the free app. You have to have premium to get the rest of them, but it is absolutely fantastic. I think Renee and I have been watching it. We're I think 6 episodes in out of 10 or 9, and it's been really fucking good.
Well, that's cool. Well, like I've mentioned before, if you have an Xfinity account, even if you just have internet, you have free premium Peacock. So, all right, real quick, let me see. I had a couple of things. But there is we were talking about Assassin's Creed. Apparently there is a live action Assassin's Creed show planned for Netflix, a series for a live action Assassin's Creed.
I saw something about that
coming up. They're just in the early, it says Make Room Geralt, an Assassin's Creed live action series is headed to Netflix. Now we're quite a ways away from it. Ubisoft's Jason Altman and Danielle Kriniak will serve as executive producers. So could be cool, but we are ways away. They're in the early stages of that. Let's see. That's not a big deal. Oh, Borat 2 opened last week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the
And
two,
Borat is actually one of the most watched things on Netflix right now.
yeah, because Borat is on Netflix, but Borat 2 is on Amazon Prime. So I'm actually planning on watching this probably with Stella. She actually really loves the Borat movie,
I'm
and
not really a fan, although
I
I heard Rudy Giuliani has a great scene in the
oh
new one.
yeah. Well, I saw Borat. I watched Borat, and I thought it was funny. Um, I never bought it, but I think a friend of mine gave me like a burned copy of the movie. I watched it. I enjoyed it, but it was not one of those ones where I was like, I need to own this. But it did get Golden Globe. It won Golden Globes and it
Mm-hmm.
got Oscar nominations. So I don't believe it won the Oscar, but I know it got the Golden Globe. And it
I
was
don't need to see him in that little onesie thing. It
that
just
slingshot.
yeah, the slingshot. Just
Um, but the thing is, they're saying that this new movie is again a serious winner. That it's really funny, and it takes the piss out of us again. It's basically making fun of America from an
banana
outsider's
hammock.
view, and there's a scene where his daughter, quote unquote, is interviewing Rudolph Giuliani, and it looks like Giuliani's like putting his hands down his pants with this supposed 15-year-old girl, and that was a complete fake out. Giuliani didn't know that was.
He fell.
Was,
I was actually just watched John Oliver from this last week, and he talked about that, and he's like, Giuliani fell for a Borat prank like 9 years after the first movie came out.
yeah, it's crazy, you know. So anyway, it's I mean, they're just saying there's more fallout, there's more stuff going on with this. I'm really really excited to kind of watch this. It's doing super well, and I mean, there's people have said it's the funniest movie they've ever seen. You know, some higher end people in the industry. So excited about it. Let's see. Adam Sandler said something about he's got another movie coming out on in Netflix, and it's not a comedy because he did release Hubie Halloween.
Yeah,
and did you watch it?
No, but I watched the preview and I was like, you know what? I don't know.
It's a Sandler movie, and honestly, it's probably one of the better ones. Is it?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it. It was cute. It was funny. It had its funny moments.
It looks like he's playing like his Waterboy character type of thing.
It's similar. It's Adam Sandler being the village idiot, and he's mugging at the camera a lot. There is some cheap humor, but there's some funny stuff. It's cute. It's okay. It's not. I mean, it's not Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore.
Well, see, I wasn't even a huge Billy Madison fan, but Happy Gilmore I loved.
A lot of people consider some of his earliest movies some of his best movies because that was when he was establishing that form of comedy.
I think Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy are two of the best. I think those are his two like top films.
I loved Big Daddy. I also liked Deeds. I thought Deeds was funny.
Deeds was another one. Yeah, Deeds I thought was fantastic. Mr. Deeds.
But then, you know, he's also had some real stinkers too. Like The Ridiculous Six was really bad.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one.
It holds an infamous 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, like Little Nicky I thought was kind of middle of the road. I thought that was kind of meh.
Well, the next project for Netflix shows much more promise. It's called The Spaceman of Bohemia, an adaptation of a soon-to-be-published novel by author Jaroslav Kalfar. Follows a Czech-raised orphan who grows up to become the country's first astronaut. So, I mean, that's the thing. Sandler has shown that he can be an amazing actor and has done amazing things. I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet, but I've heard that it's incredible.
Well, I've never seen Punch Drunk Love, but I heard he was fantastic in that.
He was really good in that. Right. There's a bunch of things like that he has done that, you know, there's some people that say that if he's not writing and directing himself, he can really fucking do some really amazing stuff. And
but then you get like stinkers like Jack and Jill.
Right. If he writes and directs himself, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's really funny. Like Grown Ups. People found Grown Ups 2 to be fun.
Grown Ups was actually a disappointment to me.
Really?
I mean, I didn't think it was a bad movie necessarily, but I thought that it should have been funnier with the cast that it had.
Sure. It looked to me though like a bunch of buddies getting together and making a movie, kind of like what Kevin Smith does.
Well, but even
it
then,
just
I
didn't.
thought it should have
Fell a
been
little
fucking
short.
funnier. I mean,
Right.
when you've got that many really talented comedic actors, I expected a fucking laugh
There's
riot.
Chris Rock, Rob Schneider, David Spade,
Kevin James.
Yeah, there was
Adam Sandler. I mean, I
Adam Sandler.
expected a fucking laugh riot in that.
Yeah.
And,
Plus all the other guest stars that they had.
well, Selma Hayek was in there. She's a riot.
Yeah, can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see, real quick. We did post for those you guys didn't see it on the Facebook page earlier. I posted the new pictures for the new
Yes.
Batwoman. It looks really great. There are some adjustments to the costume that they've made from the first season. She's also, it's her natural hair. She's not wearing a red wig. So, or like cherry red, crimson red wig. So, I think they're really pushing, because really not pushing, but really trying to show that this is a woman of color in this character. So it's not just some girl that's coming in, another woman coming in to be the same Batwoman. She's an entirely new character, an entirely new person. And I think it's going to be really great. I think it's going to be really fun.
My buddy Steve over in Ireland, he actually made a comment that it would take a lot to be worse than the first season.
See, I heard that, it wasn't the greatest, but I heard that it had showed promise.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard a lot of people said they did not care for what's her name, who played Batwoman,
Rose.
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. So we'll see. I mean, the studio and the producers are encouraged enough that they were like, let's give it another season, and let's instead of recasting, we'll create a whole new character. So it said it was an honor to be able to collaborate with executive producer Carolyn Dries and costume designer Maya Mani. I felt it was important that viewers could tell by the silhouette that Batwoman was a black girl with a form-fitting suit and beautiful afro. We definitely nailed it. So hey, great. That's what they're shooting for. Let's see. That's the Oscar Isaac thing. I
got nothing else. So
okay, right. Quick, like I said, I got a couple of quick hits. Microsoft and Bethesda intend to make their best games together, according to Phil Spencer. So hopefully, we will see them continue to make amazing games. I think that's just a given. Why would they spend $7.5 billion on a game company if they're just going to turn out shit? So that's
right. Yeah. I think we're going to make our best stuff ever now. Really?
Right. Of course you are.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 3 is rumored to be in development, but Starkiller probably isn't coming back, but we can always hope. So they are looking like they are developing a new Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
I played the first one and got so frustrated with it that I said fuck it and gave up.
I played through both of them, and it was definitely frustrating at times. Rick and Morty season 5 is on track. There will be and we'll address apparently the Clone Beth mystery.
I gotta get back to watching that. I'm still in season 1.
Yeah. And they're very late in writing season 6, so they're moving along on that show. Let's see. Mark Wahlberg apparently debuted his mustache that he's wearing in the Uncharted. The mustache he's sporting for the Uncharted movie. People are saying,
who's he in Uncharted? I haven't seen.
He plays Sully.
He's Sully. That was going to be my guess, was that he was Sully, especially when you said there was a mustache.
Yeah, he
had to be Sully.
Now, there are a lot of people that are complaining. They're saying that Tom Holland is too young, looks too young to play.
That's my biggest concern with him being Nathan Drake.
But they're saying, but a lot of people the news coming from the set and everything are saying it's pretty great. So,
he doesn't look bad as Drake. I still think that Nathan Fillion would have been great, although he's a little too old to play him right now. A little too
long in the tooth now, yeah. 10 years ago.
10 years ago, it would have been great. But I think he still could have pulled it off. But I don't hate casting Tom Holland, but he looks so young. He still looks like he's in his early 20s.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Holland could still pass for 16 if he pushes, So
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. He still plays fucking Peter Parker.
right, exactly. And he plays a young Peter Parker. He plays Peter Parker still in high school. So, yeah. Let's see. Last but certainly not least, I think we can maybe talk more about it next week. But I am caught up on Star Trek Discovery. I've watched the first 2 episodes of the new season. It is so fucking good. And
I still have to watch the latest version of the latest episode. We haven't watched last week's episode yet.
I am loving it. I think it's going to be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do.
Because there's been 2 episodes now.
2 episodes so far.
Yeah, so you haven't watched the second episode yet.
So fucking good. So anyway, that's about it. That's all. I mean, well, I think maybe we should do, Nick. Maybe see if you can watch the next episode of Discovery. Maybe we can do kind of a quick kind of review of the first 3 episodes of Discovery.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be talking. A lot about Mandalorian next week.
A lot about Mandalorian, and then we can talk about Discovery as well. We'll have a Star Wars Star Trek off.
Trek off instead of check off.
No, just okay. If you're gonna go with that, that'll work. I guess.
Star Wars and Star Trek. Star Wars and Star. I don't know if we do a big show on both of those. Won't the universe implode? I'll say, won't the universe implode at that point? Or
the internet will break.
Yeah.
Apparently. No, but I think we would need guests.
It's a postmodern world. You can like both.
You can. And that's very true. It's apples and oranges.
That's actually one of my favorite lines from the Dresden novels. Was when Harry goes into Molly's mind and sees the Star Trek.
Yeah,
bridge and he gives her shit and she's like, it's a postmodern world, Harry, you can like both.
Yep.
Blasphemy.
Exactly.
All right,
on that note, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on our 200th episode. It was pretty great. It's great to get here 200 episodes. Guys, when we get when I'm a little less busy and our lives are a little bit back to normal, I'm really hoping we're going to have some more guests on. We're going to have former guests. I'd like to really revisit like some people that have been on the show before, like Scott Mullen and my friends Sean Nicolin, some various other guests. It'd be great to have on again, and just have some more people on now, particularly since we're using Zoom and it's a lot easier to have people join us. So keep your eyes and your ears open for that. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. And you guys, you can always find us on all the places you can find quality podcasting. Why they keep us on, I still don't know. We're on iTunes. We're on the Google Play Store, which is going to be changing names pretty soon.
Yeah, Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts. We're going to be on Spotify, or we are on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on iHeartRadio, radio.com. And of course, you can stream and or download all of our episodes at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. Also found every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock normally, but 8:30 for the time being on Twitch, and then later on in the week on YouTube at Drinking Nerds.
Yeah, and you can follow us on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds, Instagram Drinking Nerds, and we are on Untapped, the Facebook for drunks. It is just search for Drinking Nerds, send us a friend request, and we will get you added.
Exactly.
So, all right, man. Well, 200 episodes, man. That's a hell of an achievement, I think. And what sucks, I mean, we like to do things big for our big episodes. Like we did something big for 50. We did something big for 100. Yeah. We didn't really do much for 150, but 200 was going to be a big thing. But with COVID, we weren't able to do anything. We weren't able to do a live episode or anything like that.
Right. And even if we wanted to have guests, it was just like I'm particularly so busy right now. It just fell at a bad time.
Bad time. So, but I mean, overall though, I mean, I've been having a blast, man. It's a great chance for me to just, at least sit and catch up with you every week. I really do enjoy this still. Even after almost 4 years now, it's still a lot of fun.
I agree.
And I look forward to Tuesday nights. And I mean, I purposely I've been invited to start curling on Tuesday nights several times. It's a men's competitive league at the curling club, and I'm like, no, I got other things going on. I would rather do this than curl. So
I agree. You know, it is something I look forward to every week as well. So
all right. Yeah. Well, I think on that note, until next time, Slancha.
Oh.
I had a good one for 200.
Perfect.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Good night.